Good morning everyone and good Sunday. Today I want to talk about a book I just finished reading, which is Lucas Back from Timur Vermes. It's a book about 300 pages-ish. It's really easy to read. It took me 2 weeks to read, so I would say around 14 to 15 hour worth of reading. It's a very peculiar book. It's really interesting. I think it's really interesting because it talks a lot about nowadays society in an environment that is really peculiar. Because the story is Adolf Hitler wakes up in 2011 in Berlin, thinking it's still 1940, around the peak of the Third Reich power, and he thinks that all the German, it's still under the same kind of some regime, and he's put in a situation where he has to face all the changing of the world in the past 60 years. It's really interesting because the author has the possibility to talk about today's society through a really strange yet controversial personal character. I think that this is one of the best things the author chose to do. Using a character like Adolf Hitler allows him to say things from a different perspective, because what this Adolf Hitler is mainly is that he is peculiarly naive on the today's society. He still thinks, he still talks like he was 1940. He relates to the German population as it was still 1940, and he relates to everyone around him talking and behaving like it was still 1940. And all of this is permitted by the fact that no one believes he's the real Adolf Hitler, but he's just a random dude that he's lost his memory, more or less. Thinks to be Adolf Hitler. He's playing Adolf Hitler, and everyone is astonished by his way of doing it, because everyone thinks he's doing so good that he really looks like Adolf Hitler. And that's one of the key points, because what I really liked about the book is that there are really a lot of points where the author really point the finger to our society and let Adolf Hitler speak in the truth of how our society should be, and it's not. It's a really controversial book because there are three kind of moments. There are really serious moments when he's, as I said, he's speaking his mind. There are really funny moments when his way of behaving and today's society cannot overlap, but he forces this overlapping because he is what he is, and he doesn't really care about how today is the society. And there is a third moment going through the end when you realize how everything that is written in the book, it actually could be possible in nowadays societies. Because what happened, this Adolf Hitler got in touch with the media and the internet power, for example YouTube, which gives him a massive fame worldwide, which is another key point of how the books end. It's really it's a pity that it's just 300 pages, because it would have been nice to see how it goes after what happened. But I think that 300 pages is still a right length, not to be too boring, not to go too over the line and get too long. So it's absolutely a book worth reading, and I really suggest you to read it. I read it in English. I think there is loads of other translation. So if you have spare time or you're not really sure what book to read, go for it, definitely. You're not gonna be disappointed. Bye everyone.